Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
We talked about a team in the New Orleans Saints who might have found a quarterback. The Atlanta Falcons might have found one, and then they took one who might have been found and then was lost. And now Tua Tagovailoa has pitched up in Atlanta alongside new coach Kevin Stefanski and muddied the water. I guess owner Arthur Blank must do great April Fool's jokes, because he certainly does seem to know how to pull his coaches and GM's pants down with some of the decisions and sanctions.
Yeah, you hope that he's Tua Tagovailoa and not Tua turn the ball over. It's if you had said to me that the Falcons would have had a clear idea of who their quarterback was going to be, and that quarterback was anywhere between the 10th and 20th best starting quarterback, I'd say this is a really talented football team with a lot of hope in this division. But you just do not know what you're going to get. I mean, there's a quarterback controversy or competition, whatever you want to call it, going to play out in the next few weeks and couple of months. I think most people have Tua projected to be the starter. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's just no clear front runner. And to be honest, neither Mighty Penix or Tua Tagovailoa would inspire any confidence. If you get the best version of either one of them, absolutely. I mean, they've both shown fantastic ceilings in terms of their ability. Tua has been a very accurate quarterback, and he has hit some heights when things were going well in Miami. He obviously has the knock on him that he can't play in the cold. So what you do, you bring him to a dome. I don't like the perception that it was a waste or a bad acquisition, because what did he cost $1 million? So what's, it's like kind of like going to the bargain basement on your way to the checkout. I mean, it's a kind of a, I don't know what you call it, a throwaway acquisition, but it puts this team that has no shortage of talent on the offensive side of the ball in a massive, questionable spot. I mean, you look at, when we were in San Francisco last year or earlier this year, when the first trickle of stars kind of arrived into the building in Radio Row, the first person I got to see in person was Bijan Robinson, and I thought, oh my God, what a specimen of a man! And like he's just an absolute tank, and like
what he glanced away from our microphones every bit as impressive as he managed to get away from defenders. We couldn't lay it low on him, unfortunately.
100%, but I mean, he's as talented a running back as there is in the league. Drake London has been fantastic, and I think Kyle Pitts is finally showing what the promise that people saw in him when he was drafted a few years ago. On the defensive side of the ball, you look at Walker and Pierce. I know you've got Pierce's off-field situation to play out, but those two first-round picks at 16 sacks between them last year. Jesse Bates in the secondary. I mean, they have talent everywhere. We talked about kickers. They've added a kicker, Nick Folk. Nick Folk, after who is one of the more accurate kickers in the league, after kicking what was cost them 3 games last season. They could very easily have gone 11 and 4, isn't it? Or 11 and Jesus. Where's my maths? 11 and 6. Yeah. So it's just, they've got talent all over the place. It's this quarterback situation is just going to be a mess. I think high ceiling, very low floor, and an awful lot of chaos to follow, I think.
Kieran, a big coaching change in bringing in Stefanski, who we've seen some very good things from in Cleveland. He's a 2-time winner of Coach of the Year, and we remember the season where he won his second Coach of the Year, where he cycled through 5 different starting quarterbacks, still managed to get to the playoffs, and they won a playoff game with Joe Flacco, who also features in quarterback and is very entertaining for people who haven't seen that yet this off-season. Stefanski has some coaching chops, but it hasn't always run smooth for him either.
No, not at all. And, he has done excellent work with the Browns and winning a lot of accolades. But and it's you could arguably say this is a better roster than he ever had in Cleveland. But he still has a quarterback mess. I mean, Fontenot's gone, so I can't blame Fontenot anymore. And Raheem Morris is gone, so he can't be blamed for any of this. But this is one of the worst quarterback situations in the league. I mean, you've got a dude in Tua who is one knock away from being done forever, and then you got Penix who just had his third knee injury. I mean, he had two in college that almost disabled him, and now he just had his third. Penix, even a healthy Penix, is a mid-tier to lower-tier quarterback. And Tua, at this stage of his career, I mean, he's not going to get much better. You've seen the best of Tua, so it's a really rough hand for him to come into. And obviously, as we see, as your team goes, or as the quarterback goes, so does the team. And it's a tough environment for him to come into. Just that alone. The second part of that is he's come into the Jets. I mean, this is a perennially underachieving team. The Jets of the South, for those who are uninitiated. I mean, this is a team that screams bland. I mean, they were 8-9 last year. Their every offensive and defensive statistic was 13th, 14th in the table, 15th. They're the very definition of bland. I mean, they can never get out of their own way. They have a couple of blue chip dudes in there. Obviously, we all know Bijan, Kyle Pitts, who was, I mean, I love to see Pitts because he was a beast at Florida, and Drake London. And it's those three dudes that they're kind of building that team around. And it's been rough for them the last 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, they're the nearly men, the almost there. I do like what they've done with the roster because they did have a huge amount of holes last year. I like the additions in free agency. They addressed what they needed to, especially on the offense with Jahan Dotson. They got Zacchaeus. They got 2 tackles in Wanya Morris and Jawan Taylor from the Chiefs. So they bolstered the places that you need to get better in. They need to get better with some backup for Pitts. They got Austin Hooper. They got Mason Smith, the nose tackle. So they've addressed a lot of the deficiencies they had. But the problem is, they're in a division that is no one's going to run away with it. It's an absolute war of attrition, this division. Teams just slug it out, and whoever's left standing at the first week of January will take it by default almost. I mean, the offense, I mean, they just flatter to deceive a lot of the times. I mean, you'll see a Monday night game where they'll put up 4. I mean, what was it? The Tampa game last year? They put up a huge amount of points, and they're capable of putting up 45, 50 in any game at any situation. But it's the inconsistency that kills them. I mean, they'll just win. They'll win a couple, then they'll lose a couple. They'll fall back to the pack, and they just never seem to be able to get out of their own way. The Achilles heel for me is the defense. It's a very underwhelming unit. It's runs a similar 3-4 than as the Saints do, but Zach Harrison, Mason Smith, and Brandon Dorless up front is not scaring any team. It's not scaring me. And we already know the issues with James Pierce. Will he play? Will the league do anything with him? And that's really going to put a lot of the onus onto Jalen Walker. I mean, he's going to be asked to run all over the place and cover a lot of holes. Another year of Jesse Bates. Xavier Watts is probably the standout guy in the secondary, but it doesn't scream dominant or consistent to me. And again, that's not even bringing into consideration injuries and the paper thin second and third stringers that they have. I mean, for Stefanski, I mean, he's coming into a team that's arguably a better roster than he's ever had. He's going to get the freedom. He's got Matt Ryan helping him out too. So the two of them are going to be kind of in step with trying to get this team better. Like you said, he's a 2-time coach of the year. You got to think they're going to take a little step up from 8-9. I don't know how much it will be though. Will it be 9-8? Will it be 10-7? Because I just can't see much of an improvement in this team. I just think that the kind of the way they've been the last 10, probably back to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, it's just flat out to deceive. Let's get a bunch of big stars, and we'll have deficiencies in the rest of the team, whether it be the O-line. They have addressed the tackle situation this year, so that's something. But it's a better roster overall, but I still have huge questions about the quarterback room. I mean, this team has been stuck in neutral for the last 10 years, and I just don't know if Penix and or Tua just have enough to get them out of this hole that they've been in the last, like I said, 10 years.
Where do you stand on the Tua move point?
Conor, sometimes a quarterback finds an environment that actually suits the player and the skill set they've got. Like, I look at their schedule, like
for years we've spoken about Tua going into these kind of tough environments, cold weather situations. I'm sure some Dolphins fans will throw some stats as to why this is not consistent with my thoughts, but he doesn't have a lot of difficult games in terms of cold weather environments. There's 2 in December where they're in Washington. There's back-to-back weeks in December, and you could argue maybe the Madrid game. And he's played in Madrid, actually, funny enough. Strange predicament there. He was quarterback in Madrid last year. He's going to be the quarterback in Madrid, assuming he wins out. But sometimes you find an environment. We're going to talk about Baker Mayfield next. How many turns did Baker Mayfield need before he finally found a home? Maybe going into this environment and playing a lot of games indoor will actually suit Tua, and maybe this is kind of the nice little sweet spot that he finds and can re-energize his career. It's a completely different revamp, as you've touched on. Ian Cunningham's come over from the Bears as well. Conor, as you know well from your Bears fandom, like you've got Matt Ryan, you've got a head coach who's won the division, won 2-time head coach of the year. He's won in different environments. You could argue this isn't as difficult an environment as what he's had in Cleveland. I think there's a lot of positivity around this team right now.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.